Hi guys, we are down on the mat today for this challenging Pilates workout that's really going to sculpt total body. So we've got lower body, upper body, as well as a good bit of abs and core. So I will be using a light set of hand weights for this workout, as well as an optional ankle weight. If you have those, grab them, roll out your mat, and let's go. Hey guys, so today's workout is going to be quite a good mix of everything in terms of lower body, upper body, core work as well. So yeah, a little bit of everything, really good. I will be using a couple of props here. So I will be using an ankle weight that is always, kind of optional. I'll also be using two lightweight dumbbells. So these are 1.5 kilos each, which is about 3 pounds. And we'll use them both separately as well as together to make a slightly larger weight. So if you have a bigger weight around 3 kilos or let's say like 5-6 pounds, you could also just use a single weight in addition to your two lighter ones. I'm just keeping it simple, so I'll use either one or both. As has been the case now for the past several weeks, all of these workouts, well, this one, there's probably only going to be 1 or 2 more after this, will of course be pregnancy friendly. Yeah, 1 or 2 more because I am coming up on the end here, so I can't guarantee how many more workouts are going to come out. In theory, I would like to film postpartum workouts as well, but it's going to be kind of like, we'll see when we get there, because obviously right now I don't have a baby yet, so it's a little bit easier for me to carve out time to film, whereas once I have a baby, that's obviously going to be the priority. So for the foreseeable future, we're looking at maybe 1 or 2 more workouts. So of course, if you want to see more of those, be sure you are subscribed. I mean, there's a whole catalog of past workouts there as well, both pregnancy friendly, as well as a lot of stuff that wasn't super pregnancy friendly from back before I was pregnant, but really a lot of good bar, Pilates, HIIT workouts, all sorts of stuff you can find. You can also give me a follow over on Instagram at F2D Fitness. And I'll have lots of posts still over there. That's still going strong. So lots of posts related to fitness, nutrition, lifestyle. Of course, lots of things about women's hormone health and fertility. So you can find that over there. But we're going to get cracking with this one. So coming to hands and knees, just to start off here with a nice little warm up. And we're going to start nice and simple with a cat-cow. So knees under hips, hands underneath shoulders here, navel tucked in and engaged. We're going to be exhaling, rounding, tucking in, and then inhale, finding a little hollow there in 3, 2, 1. So exhale, tuck, pulling navel into spine, pushing out of shoulders. Inhale, hollow, open through the chest. Again, exhale, round. You can just go at your own pace here, follow your breath. And we might have a few more cat sightings than usual today, because normally I film in the morning after they've had breakfast and they're just kind of like entering their nappy time. But today, I'm actually filming in the afternoon, and they might be a little bit more rambunctious. We'll see. We'll see how we get on. I think you've probably already seen Luna come through. I don't know, Leo's settled. Layla might also be settled. Last one here, and then from here you're just going to draw a little circle in one direction with the hips. So you're just kind of circling over, still thinking of drawing navel in to spine, just going single direction here. It's a nice little stretch for the wrists as well, but we're really thinking of warming into the hips. And like I say, core is engaged here, navel in to spine. So we're not just dumping into the lower back, and then go ahead, reverse direction, circling back the other way. Nice one too if you've just been like sitting for the better part of the day. Just lubricating the hips a bit feels good. And the more I do these, the better they feel usually. The first couple circles are a little bit stiff. Last one here. And then we're gonna tuck toes under, still from hands and knees. Tuck toes under, inhale. On your exhale, scoop the knees in, hover them about 1 centimeter or 2 off the floor. Hold here for just a few seconds. And then touch the knees back down. And again, we're really thinking of keeping the core tight. There's not much of a lift of the hips themselves. It's mostly the idea of drawing the knees in. So you'll hold for just a few seconds, tap knees down, and go again. Shoulders back and down. Thinking of almost kind of tucking the knees forward a little bit. Like I say, it's not just like a big lift of the hips. We're not just sending the hips up to the ceiling. It's really about tucking and scooping the navel in. Last one here, just hold, and go ahead, release. And we're gonna flip around, come back onto the butt here. Hands underneath shoulders, feet hip distance. Exhale, lift into reverse table. Inhale, touch butt down. So you're using glutes and hamstrings mostly for that lift, but also thinking of pressing out of the chest and shoulders. So it is a good bit of postural work here. We want to start getting into that range of motion in the shoulders. Think of squeezing shoulder blades back together every time you lift. And that's kind of the final frontier of these ones. So sometimes I'll see that people have really got these down as far as what glutes and hamstrings are doing, but they're missing that extra little push that happens at the top. Do one more here, and then we're just going to plant the butt. You're gonna bring the hands so that fingertips are pointing toward you, elbows pointing back, and we're just gonna take a little modified tricep dip here. So inhale, lower, exhale, press. So just the weight of the torso. Think of wrapping the elbows together like you have a big rubber band around the tops of your arms. Keep core engaged, a little tilt back, and press. So we're just going for these ones because we're still just warming up. Obviously, if you wanted to go bananas here and do a full-on tricep dip, you can. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really hating tricep dips, full tricep dips while pregnant. I have been doing them, but it's a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight on there, and it's not the most fun time I've ever had. Do one more here. Go ahead, release. Just give the wrists a little shake out there. Shake out arms and shoulders, and we're gonna get into it. So I am going to put on my ankle weight, starting on the left ankle. There we go. And we're gonna flip around here, back to hands and knees. So starting everything, full series here on the left side. So exercises are either gonna be 1 minute or 30 seconds. It's gonna be 30 seconds for any of the pulses. There are gonna be lots of pulses there, but only 30 seconds at a time. So first thing here, you're gonna have a nice bend in that knee, flex the foot, exhale, lift up, inhale, touch down. As always, keeping it flat back there, little tuck of the tailbone, hips stay centered so you're not just swinging off over to that right side, core engaged. We start in 3, 2, 1. So this is not a pulse, so this is a full minute. Nice and controlled here. And I always like to remind people with these ones, you'll hit kind of a point of resistance there, but that first point of resistance, you're gonna push through, get a little extra squeeze of the butt before you just bring it back down, and it's a controlled lower. So yeah, don't just think first point of resistance, good enough. It's not good enough. And like I say, keeping the abs engaged here so you're not hollowing through the lower back, especially if you are doing this pregnant like me. Make sure that you are thinking of pulling in, exhaling on that lift, shoulders away from the ears. All right, keep your next one lifted, and it's our first set of pulses. So nice little squeezes here. That pulse is small, so check that you're not doing great big pulses. They should be quite small and tight because you're at the very, very top of that range. So it's like squeeze to a little bit more squeeze. It's not like a squeeze and release. Few more seconds here, 30 seconds is not too bad for these. Last one there, bring it down. We're gonna add an extension. So you're going to push all the way long through the heel, touch back down. Push long through the heel, touch back down. Little pause there. Leg is coming fully straight. So fully straight, hold it for just split second in that little pause before you bring it back in. And in that split second, while the leg is straight, you're going to just, again, verify that navel is pulling in and we're not putting too much weight into the right side. So you can always pick up opposite hand, and you could do this entire series with just one hand down if you wanted to progress everything here. You could do that, or another option that I like sometimes is opposite hand on a ball, because yeah, you won't be able to use it as much. Next one here, we're gonna keep leg long, foot flexed, leading from the heel, straight pulses here. Again, check in, scoop up with the navel. You should be feeling more of the active leg here than the supporting. So hamstring and glute on that left side, you shouldn't be feeling a ton of the right. If you are, it's probably kind of dumping into the hip. Few more seconds here, and then we're gonna lower to the right elbow. So bring right elbow down, turn the left knee open, and we're gonna lift there. So we're doing that kind of diamond lift or attitude sort of lift if you're familiar with ballet terms. Knee and ankle are pretty much level here, and you'll notice as I lower the leg, knees do not come together. They're not friends. They're not friends at all. So that left kneecap is always going to be pointed off to the side here. Just keep that in mind. So now you're squeezing a little bit more of that corner of the supporting side. And with this series, because we are fully leaning into the supporting side, now you are gonna feel a little bit more of the supporting as well. But really getting both. And like I say, corners of both, keep pulling navel in. One more here, keep it up. And what do you know, we're gonna pulse it here. So knee and ankle are level. Check that you're not back here with knee turned down. That was our parallel series. Now with this turnout, we really want to turn out. So turning out the hip. And this one, if you wanted to progress it, you could actually completely pick up the left hand, right? I'm gonna keep it down for the stability here, but you could pick it up. Last couple of seconds here, we're gonna add an extension to this one. So bring it down, we lift, extend, bring it back in. So leg is gonna be fully turned to the side there. So it'll be outer thigh that's up to the ceiling rather than the back of the leg. Knee is pointed forward here toward me. Keep squeezing that bottom supporting side. Don't collapse into it. So especially thinking about that as the leg returns back in, we're not just collapsing there. You're staying pressed out, engaged the entire time. And we've just got one more set of pulses. I'm sure you already know what it is, but it's gonna be our last set of pulses on this side, so not too bad. Hold this next one, straight leg. Here it is. Here's our last set of pulses. So super, super controlled. It is kind of just good practice here to try picking up the left hand, because you'll see if too much of the torso is trying to help you here, it really helps you isolate that muscle group. So really keeping it outer thigh glute. Core, like I say, is engaged, so we're not throwing the whole torso around. All right, last couple seconds here, and then we're gonna bring both elbows down here. Take that leg to the outside of the mat, and we're drawing a big rainbow up and over. Do I have enough space? I think so. I mean, you never know with this wall here. But big rainbow up and over, lifting above the line of the hips, keeping hips square to the floor here. Weight equal in both elbows, but staying pressed away from the floor. And the good news is glutes are gonna get a little bit of a break after this. And we'll hit the upper body. Keep scooping up from the navel. Keep pushing that right hip into center so you're not dropping out. So hips should be level here, looking from behind. Last one here. And go ahead, release. Press back up. Okay, you can leave that ankle weight on. If you use the ankle weight, just leave it on. Come up to the knees here, so opposite leg. Right leg is gonna step forward. So you're in this kind of half kneeling position. You're gonna grab weights here, or you could of course modify, use just a single light weight, or like I said, a single medium weight, but I'm just gonna go for double down on the light weights as if it were a bigger weight. And from here, again, keeping core engaged, thinking of tucking tailbone under, weights just next to the ear in the left hand. We're gonna do a shoulder press. So that's the first thing in 3, 2, 1. But yeah, just to get a little extra weight there. And core is still very much engaged. Slow pulling the arm down. It's not just like a drop down. And like I say, I'm thinking of tucking tailbone under, pulling navel to spine. And it's a nice amount of weight for these. Of course, easier to just hold a single kind of medium weight. I do have a medium weight I could have used, but they're really ugly. I know you might be thinking like, oh, these weights aren't that cute either, but they're like the adjustable weights, which are really handy, but I never film with them because they're just really ugly. They're like all different colors. They're like metal. They're just ugly. So I'm going with these. Last one there. Now bring it down to the side here, palms facing away, and we're just gonna exhale, curl, inhale, lower, keeping shoulders in place. Whatever you wanna do with that opposite hand, your non-working hand. Obviously I've just got it rested on the leg here, but you could, I don't know, there's not really too much you can do with it, I guess. But if you have somewhere else you want to put that hand, if you want to wave it in the air like you just don't care, be my guest. Elbow stays close to the side. So again, I'm not swinging everything around, especially this shoulder. So sometimes what I'll see is like a woo, kind of like a yee-haw motion where the shoulder is going all over the place. Again, torso is just staying straight up over that back knee. All right, do one more here. And then we're gonna step that right foot just a tiny bit farther forward. Take a little bit more of a lean here, and we're going into a narrow row. So exhale, pull, inhale, reach. And if that back knee is sensitive, I mean, I could have said this earlier, but anytime in the series, of course, you can always just rest like a towel under the knee. So I'm not collapsing here into the hips. I'm still thinking tucking tailbone under, keeping this right glute somewhat engaged, keeping core engaged, pulling away slightly from that right leg, and just rowing up to the rib cage, squeezing shoulder blade back, and extending long. So yeah, might seem like, oh, this is all just arms. It's definitely not just all arms. Lots of things working here still in sweet harmony. Last one here, we're gonna actually do, well, one more. Hold it here, elbow stays high, tricep kick back. So might be a little bit more weight than you're used to using with the tricep kickback. Of course, you can always drop weight. Whatever you do on this first side, just repeat on the second side. Little pause in straight, no swinging. Keep that elbow high, chest open, navel to spine. And then another thing here is just neck in line with the spine. So, I mean, I'm looking down periodically just to see the timer, but you should be keeping your head lifted in line with the spine. And the angle here you choose, right? You could always come up a little bit higher like this. That's gonna make it a little bit easier. The angle is gonna sort of control the difficulty here a bit as well. Do one more here. Boom, go ahead, release. Okay, step out of that. We're gonna come down now onto the right side. So we're almost finished with this right side, but not quite. So again, you can leave the ankle weight on. You can keep one or both weights here. We're gonna set up for a side plank. Bottom knee is going to be down. You're going to just lift into that side plank. We'll hold here, and then weights, we're gonna pull across, press up. That's it. Well, that's it. That's a lot. This one, we're only going to do 30 seconds of. It's going to be 2 little 30-second things here. Then we'll switch to everything on the other side. So find your side plank. We start in 3, 2, 1. So pull across, press straight over the shoulder. Again, we're thinking navel to spine. I'm really lifting hips away from the floor, staying pressed out of that bottom shoulder as well, keeping these nice and controlled. And that motion of the weight also just adds a little bit extra oblique work. One more here, and I'm sorry to tell you, we're gonna hold the arms here, lift leg, and lower. So hips are square, shoulders are square. Do you see why we just did 30 seconds of each of these? I mean, feel free to pause and do a full minute if that's what you want to do. But I'm just fine here doing 30 seconds of each of these ones. Do one more and go ahead, release. Okay, so essentially that's all of the unilateral exercises on that first side. So if you've been using an ankle weight, go ahead, switch it over. I'm gonna flip around, face the other direction so you guys can see. And we'll do all that song and dance again. So starting from hands and knees, remember we just started nice and simple here with that lift and lower in 3, 2, 1. So exhale, squeeze, inhale, touch. Foot is flexed just to engage a little bit more of the back of the leg. Hips are just tracking straight in line here. So again, just double check that you're not leaning over to the left. See if you can pick up the left hand. That's a good little check. If you've got the hand down though, what you should not see is that like the left elbow is bending especially, or that left ear is coming near the shoulder, because both of those are indications that you're leaning a little bit too much into that left side. I'm happy to be on the second side here, quite frankly. Feels like we're getting somewhere. Once you get to that second side, especially if it's like a long series, which was longish on one side, keep the next one lifted. We pulse, little squeezes, high and tight. Relax the shoulders, pull navel up and in. Yeah, especially when it's like a long series on one side and you're like, when is it gonna end? How can there be more? Feels good when you get to that second side. And then you know everything that's coming. I always think the second side actually goes by a little bit faster, purely because there are no surprises in it. All right, go ahead, bring the knee back down. We're gonna do that donkey kick. So push all the way long, touch it back in, push. Little pause, weight still equal in both hands, but at the same time, there shouldn't be that much weight in the arms because you are still thinking energetically, lifting up from the middle. Ooh, I feel the hamstring on that. I feel that hamstring. So you should feel that as well. I've been going a little bit crazy adding the ankle weights to a lot of my workouts lately. I don't know why. I get in like periods in my life where I'm like, oh yeah, ankle weights. I've got those. Let's just add them in everywhere. But it'll pass. This phase will pass. And like I say, I mean, you don't have to do the ankle weight, but they are fun. Keep next one long here. Keep foot flexed, little tiny pulses. Knee is locked straight. So that motion is from the very, very top of the leg. You're not just like wiggling around in the knee and the ankle. So you should really feel it. Again, hamstring and glute. Send your mind to the part you want to work on that active side. A few more seconds here, and then we're gonna drop the left elbow. All right, left elbow comes down. We open the knee out, bent lift, and lower. Lifting knee and ankle on the same level, and again, as leg comes down, knees are not coming together. So that right kneecap is never gonna be angled down toward the floor in this series. We just did that. We just did parallel. But this is how we get around to the different angles. And at the same time, getting a little bit more of the obliques. So it's multi-purpose, multitasking. And now, like I said on that first side, it is okay if you're feeling a little bit more of that supporting glute, because now we are actually like pushing the weight onto that side, which you can verify by picking up right hand. Keep next one lifted, pulse it here. I would say probably if you are doing this pregnant, especially if you're like later along like I am, you're probably gonna wanna have the hand down. Yeah. There's a time and a place for everything. And right now, it's the time for me to have my hand down. Last few seconds here, and then we're gonna add that extension. So bring it all the way in. We lift, extend, kneecap is pointing to the side, outer thigh is up to the ceiling. A little pause, again, full extension there. Keep pulling navel up away from the floor. It does just burn so much more with the ankle weight. It's what I signed up for though. I thought I could do this without, but I've just been using the ankle weight so much lately, and what fun I'm having. Let's do it again. Am I regretting that choice? A little bit right now, but there's not too much more that I need to get through here, so we can do it. Shoulders away from the ears. We've just got that last set of pulses over here, and then that final glute exercise after that rainbow. Keep this one lifted. Straight pulse here. Again, check that the whole torso is not moving. Check that knee isn't turned down to the floor like this. Now we're working the outside of the glutes. So it's not back of the glutes as much. Keep pinching that bottom supporting glute though. You'll really feel it in that corner. Few more seconds here, and then we're coming up on that final glute exercise. All right, come down to both elbows now. Leg goes to the outside of the mat. Lift up and over. Again, I'm worried I'm gonna hit the wall, but oh well, if I do, I do. Doesn't matter. Big rainbow. keeping lower back flat, keeping that supporting glute engaged. Don't collapse into the hips. So yeah, really think about all these things, because it's really about creating that mind-body connection so that you can tell, you just know, you can feel into what is right and what is not right, because that's going to be your best method of correction always. Especially when you're doing these kind of video workouts, if you're working with a personal trainer or in a class and you're getting feedback right away, it's a bit different, but still, even those scenarios, best if you can feel into it. Last one there, release. We're gonna come back up onto the knees here, step forward with that left foot this time. So grabbing weights in the right hand, and we start from a shoulder press. So press and down, flat back here. In 3, 2, 1. Exhale, press, inhale, lower. So 90 degrees with the knees. And again, core is engaged here. So you shouldn't be leaning back, hollowing the back as that arm presses up. And along those lines, better to press slightly forward with that arm than letting it come like back here where it's gonna pull the back. And it's amazing how tired my shoulders are getting doing this right now. But we got this. We got this. Because there's still more work to be done. One more here, and then we're going into a bicep curl. So open the palm to the side, elbow is in, shoulder stays there, exhale, curl, inhale, release. Again, don't let the shoulder move with it. Oop, getting the upper lip sweat. It's that time. It's that happy time. Keep it curling here. Again, check in with the glutes. You should be engaging both glutes somewhat. So thinking of keeping that tuck under, we'll do that. And it just keeps the back in a really nice supported position. It's kind of a nice way to do arms, just one at a time here. And if you guys have been working out with me for a while, one more here. Step the left foot forward a wee bit, tilt forward, narrow row. Then it's kind of like this time of year, I guess more into like spring and late spring, that I really, really enjoy working upper body. I'm very much of the mentality sun's out, guns out. So when it starts to come into spring, I start to double down on my upper body workouts. But like I say, I'm not sure how far into spring I'm gonna be taking these YouTube workouts this year because most likely it's just gonna be 1 or 2 more workouts after this. I'm gonna be able to fit in. We'll see. Maybe 3. We'll say three on the upper end. But yeah, if I disappear, you know why. Do one more here. Keep that elbow back into that tricep kick back. These feel a lot easier on this side. I am right dominant. Certain muscle groups, I do notice more of a difference with that. Like for me, shoulders are not hugely different. If anything, sometimes I feel like actually my left shoulder is maybe a tiny bit stronger. Biceps feel relatively even. Right is probably a little bit stronger, but when it comes to triceps, my right tricep is definitely stronger than the left. Which, sometimes that just happens. I'm training them equally, doing my best to even them out. But at the end of the day, I am right dominant. Nice long back here, still tucking tailbone. Let's do one more, and then we'll release out of that. Come down onto that side, and we'll just do those two things inside plank, and that's gonna finish out this side. It's not gonna finish out the workout, but it's gonna finish out this side. So, elbow and knee here, hips stacked. We'll lift up, and we're doing that shoulder press there at the side. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So, pull it across, reach straight up. So weights at the top will be straight up over your bottom shoulder. It is a perfect stack. I'm really thinking of squeezing that bottom oblique, lifting bottom hip high. And again, a lot of this, like this whole workout basically, has been some combination of everything. Hold this, leg lift, and lower. So on everything, we've been working the core, some degree of upper body and lower body all at once. So if everything is feeling a bit fatigued here, that's why. But we've got a little bit more to go. So just stay with it. Last lift there, and go ahead, release. Okay, ankle weight can come off here. We are officially finished with it. Goodbye. And we're gonna come onto both knees here. So grab your weights. We're finishing out with the weights still here. From the knees about shoulder distance apart. Weights in separate hands now. You're gonna have arms extended in front of you, palms up. We're gonna do a mat squat, so sitting butt back almost to the heels. Curl weights into the shoulders. Extend as you tuck butt back under. That's the move. I'm gonna wipe away some of my lip sweat. We're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. So we curl, extend. And you're not sitting fully back on the heels there. You're just dropping part of the way. Tuck butt under at the top. A little pause with those arms extended, thinking of drawing shoulders down and back. We're just finishing up everything that we did, because everything we've done so far, apart from the warm-up, has been unilateral, which is great. Really great to do unilateral work to balance everything out. But I always like to finish with everything working together in sweet harmony. It just feels more complete to me when we finish with bilateral exercises. So that's what we're doing. We're in the home stretch though. Last one here, and then I want you to sit kind of halfway back. You're gonna curl arms. We're gonna open, press, down, wrap in. So open, press, down, wrap in. So legs are supporting here. Keep thinking, tucking tailbone under, navel to spine. You're just hovering flat back. So we don't want that hollow in the lower back. And we're just going with the arms. And shoulders, they might be burning by this point. I'm feeling mine. Whew. But keep it going, because like I say, there's not much left. There's not much left. We can do it. We've got 3 more exercises after this one, 1 minute of each, and then we'll do a really nice stretch. 1 more press here. All right, go ahead, lift the hips slightly, but we're gonna push the hips back here, elbows up to the sides, tricep kick back. So both sides working together now. Half as much weight. Keep elbows pulled up high. Again, flat back. Abs are engaged here. So always checking in with that. When you're in this inclined position, treat it as you would a plank. You'd be pulling in from the abs. Same thing here. Keep chin lifted off the chest. Back of the neck long. Find a little burnout for triceps. And I'm feeling, honestly, like I've had a pretty good total body workout at this point. If you wanted to add on to this, do one more here. Turn the palms so they're facing back away from you. Straight pulses. You can always sit up a little higher in it. That's gonna be a modification, but keep those arms, those weights fully behind you. Yeah, if you wanted to add on to this, you could add on a cardio workout. That could be good. So yeah, have a little look back through my arsenal. Like I said, I've got a lot of videos on here. So even though we're coming up to a temporary pause, there's a lot there. There's a lot there to catch up on. So you can find an old cardio workout, pair it with this one, especially if you like to kind of combine a bit of mat and standing. Keep shoulder blades squeezing back together here. Last few seconds. Definitely feeling triceps at this point. All right, last one there. Put weights down to the side. Find a modified plank position, hands, shoulder distance apart. You can stay on the knees, and we're just gonna do a press up here. So elbows come about a 45-degree angle. Push the floor away from you. You could, of course, go on the toes there if you wanted to modify a little bit more. So if you are, pregnant like I'm, you could actually walk the knees in and do more of a quadruped position there. So see what feels good. I feel okay doing these ones right now, but I've definitely been modifying a lot of my planks here lately. So, again, time and place for everything. I want to challenge myself with my workouts still, but yeah, that looks a little different. One more here. Ooh. And go ahead, release. Let's just press back to a child's pose. That just feels right. So feet together, knees open, reach arms long here. Melt the chest down toward the floor. And let's just add a little extra tricep stretch here. So you're going to press down into the elbows, bend the elbows, flip palms. Palms are just gonna come to the backs of shoulders and dig the elbows down into the floor. Oh boy. Yes, I'm feeling that. Whew. And then go ahead, release the arms long, stay in that child's pose. Walk the hands over to one side. So we'll get that nice side body stretch, stretching out through the lat. Melting down there. This is one of my favorite stretches. Always and forever. And then walk back to the other side. And walk back into center again here. And then hands coming back in toward the knees, slowly lifting the chest. You can come up onto the knees here. We'll take a lunge. So step the left foot to the outside of left hand, melting into it there. If it feels comfortable for you, you can lower down to the elbows. Think of keeping tailbone tucked here. You can kind of just start to rock the hips side to side. And if you want a little extra quad stretch here and it feels okay for the knee, you can reach left arm back, bend that right knee, find the top of the foot, pull in, press hips forward. So still thinking tucking the tailbone here to protect the core. And release. If you did grab the foot there, bring hand back down. You're just gonna roll the hips back here, left heel down, left toes up. Yes, that is a giant wad of cat hair on my toe. What do you know? Reach cross body, right hand for left toes, pulling back, finding the fold at the line of the hips. There's cat hair everywhere. It is just a fact of life with 3 long-haired cats. Go ahead and release. We'll switch sides here. So stepping right foot wide. Again, you could lower to the elbows here. Whatever you did on that first side, you really want to look to repeat. Maybe just rocking the hips a little bit side to side. And then if it feels good to take that quad stretch, you can reach right arm back, find the foot, pull in, pushing hips forward. Deep breaths here. Go ahead, release. Hands come down, roll the hips back, heel down, toes up. And again, we'll reach cross body. I also just have like random pieces of cat hair stuck all over my legs. Love that look for me. Cat hair everywhere. And go ahead, release, step back. Just come into a seated position here. Let's cross one arm in front of the chest. Stretching out that shoulder. These I think always just feel quite nice. Go ahead, release, other side. And release, hands together behind the back, and you're just gonna press down so shoulder blades come together, keeping the abs engaged. If it feels good, you can drop the head back here. We're really finding that opening through the chest and fronts of the shoulders. And go ahead, release. Shake out the wrists. We made it through. I hope you guys feel like you've had a really good just tone up of everything here. I really feel like, yeah, I've hit a little bit of everything. Feels good. It feels good to start the week off like this. If you guys did enjoy this style of workout, please do give it a like down below so I know for the next couple that are coming. Hit that subscribe button to come back for more. There will be more eventually. I can't guarantee when, but there will be more eventually. And let me know down below in the comments how you got on with this workout, if you've been enjoying the workouts lately, and yeah, what you're looking forward to seeing more of in the future. So I will see you guys back here soon, at least 1 or 2 more times. Bye.